I'm going to start recording it now. So, hey, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents Really Work. So I was recording this. I invited a lot of people to this call tonight to talk about your pre-listing package. And I wanted to just, pre-listing package. Sorry, I couldn't type and talk for some reason or other. So if you go to jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com, you can get it right there. So I've got a few things I want to talk about before we get started. I think this is such a useful tool, but guys, we got to remember we're in such a crazy time. We're unprecedented times for you guys that are really paying attention. For you guys that are really paying attention right now, you've probably seen oil went negative. Oil went negative literally last night, well, today, which I don't know if you guys know what that means, but that's I don't know if anybody really knows what it means, because apparently this is the first time it's ever happened. I was listening to a guy a month ago talking about how oil was probably going to go negative, and it did. So that was a little bit surprising, but at the same time, it was, hey, it is what it is. We're where we're at. You know what I mean? But from what my understanding is, it is not going to be, it's not going to be good. But it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for the housing industry as far as prices going up. But here's the thing too, guys, a lot of us get a little bit down on prices going up or prices going down, and we kind of get hung up on that sort of stuff. But, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, because people are going to buy houses. If the market goes up, the market goes down, it doesn't really matter. People are going to buy houses. And I want to tell you guys that are listening to this, one of the things that a lot of agents are not really understanding or not looking at is that when prices go down and we're kind of in a slump in the market, when the housing market slows down, guys, it's not bad. It's not bad at all for us, because for us, our services are more in need than what they were before. And you know what? Our services all of a sudden become more valuable, and which is really cool, because the last couple of years, honestly, we've kind of been order takers, don't you think? I mean, there's not a lot of the people that we've been working with, honestly, they could have listed their house with anybody and it would have sold probably the same or for the same amount of money as it did with us. I mean, it's crazy, but that's true. If you got multiple offers, chances are the agent that just got in the business last week, if he'd have threw it on MLS, he'd have probably got multiple offers too. Yeah, he used a professional photographer. I mean, I know we like to think that we're special or what we're doing special, but to be honest with you, the last couple of years, it's not been. It's not been. Anybody could have sold the houses you sold, the listings you took, more than likely, anybody could have sold that. Now, sorry to be negative on you, but that's just the way it is. But I'm going to tell you this, man. Coming up in the next 6 to 12 months, guys, our services are really going to be needed, and there's going to be people out there with real problems, right? And there's going to be people with real issues. There's people with issues right now. It's April 20th, and let's be honest, there's people that missed their first mortgage payment. I know. I hear about, mortgage payments being furloughed or deferred or whatever fancy word you want to say. But here's the thing: when they missed the first payment, there were some statistics a while back that talked about when somebody missed the first payment. I can't remember exactly what they are, but I'm gonna tell you kind of what I remember. But when people miss the first payment, it is it's more than likely there's a possibility they're going to get caught back up. I can't remember what the number was, but there's a strong possibility they get caught up. When they miss the second payment, it goes down like a lot. It's like 50-50 on them getting caught up. When they miss the third payment, though, there's like, I mean, it was pretty low, a 10 or 15% chance of them getting caught up, right? So Rob just said, I was making calls today, man. Nobody's answering their phone. What's up with that? Do you think they'd be home? You know what? I will tell you this, man. I've seen a lot of agents getting like crazy pickup rates. But you know what? It's day to day, and it is Monday, and there's some crazy stuff going on. So anyway, so let's clear all this stuff here, right here. Let me get out of this. So this is the website. If you guys want the template, just click there, send to me. It will send to your email, send you a download link, and you can download it. So if you don't have it, get it. Guys, last night I shared a little strategy with you all dealing with RedX, and I know I had some people ask me some questions about it and stuff. And I will tell you guys, RedX, if you use the link jasonmorrisredx.com. That's jasonmorrisredx.com. Takes you, that's a link, takes you to the thing where they're waiving the $149 setup fee. So it does save you a little bit of money. And that's pretty good. But one thing I want to tell you guys about is a product that's on here for rent my owners. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, with the stuff going on here in the world and here in coronavirus times, there's a lot of stuff about rentals happening. And guys, a lot of these landlords are getting really, really nervous right now. I got friends that are getting really, really nervous right now. And, you know, some of them have owned rentals for years. And you know what? I think everybody that owns some rentals are kind of working. They're working with the people they can work with. Some of us, you know, some of us are not eligible for deferments, which, you know, I mean, that's good. You know, I'm not asking for a deferment. A lot of us aren't asking for deferments, but you know what? What about the ones of us that own property free and clear? You know, it kind of puts us in a bad position. But it does make you a little nervous because there's some stuff floating around out there and some stuff in some other states about continuing a rental moratorium. I mean, right now, South Carolina has one until May 1st. A lot of these landlords, man, are getting really, really, really a little bit crazy. They're getting a little bit nuts, and they're just getting nervous about what's happening. And you know what? There's a lot of my friends that have never talked to me about selling a rental unit they have that are talking to me about selling rental units they have, right? And I think that's kind of crazy. I'll tell you guys something else, another strategy for your market. If you guys, a lot of you guys already have geo leads will let you look up one-off numbers. I will tell you this, if you go through your MLS and it has rentals in it, pull all the rentals that are like 9-10 months old. They have leases ending in 2 or 3 months. Start calling those people, because probably right now they're trying to figure out what to do. Some of them have tenants that are not paying right now, and they're thinking, hey, when the lease is up, they just want to get rid of the place. I promise you. If you won't, just start working on a strategy right now. This is what you need to do. So Rob, you know what? The template, you know what? We haven't updated it for 2020 yet, but you know, it's out there, and we're going to go down through it and kind of get you guys started, because I know a lot of you guys don't have anyone. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be updating this template for 2020, and we're going to go ahead and use the updated pictures and all that stuff, and just, you know, see what happens. So I'm going to stop sharing there. Those are some ideas, guys, based on last night's call that I had that I wanted to kind of share with you guys. Now, I'm going to tell you, so I got a little excerpt out of my my For Sale by Owner Master book. If you guys remember, you guys that are my group coaching, you have this. You got to just log into the website to actually get it. But you guys that don't have this, I'm going to tell you how to be a FSBO master. that book is it's a pretty good book. I mean, that's number one. It's a pretty good book. It was me putting my for sale by owner plan actually in writing so that somebody else could use it, somebody else could actually follow it. It sold a ton of copies. It was the number one on Amazon for quite some time, but it has a lot of good information in it. We're going to go down to page number 37 that talks about your pre-listing package. So I'm not going to read this to you word for word, but a lot of people call this a listing package. You know what, guys? I prefer not to call it a listing package to the public. I call it a pre-listing package with you guys because, that's what it is. But really, pre-listing package is nothing but industry slang. It's nothing but industry slang. I feel like when a lot of the general public talks about listings, they talk about it kind of in a negative type of connotation, And usually when somebody says, "Oh, I listed my house," the rest of the sentence is typically, "I listed my house with an agent and the listing did not sell," right? When they say, "Oh," they don't say, "I listed with my house with Jason and it sold." They say, "Jason sold my house," right? When they say, "Jason listed my house," it's usually followed, "but it didn't sell." So guys, if you start on the phone, if you start eliminating the word listing from your vocabulary, I'm going to tell you what, it's going to change the way your conversations are going. So I'm going to tell you guys kind of a little bit of history about this. So I had a big team. We talked about that on a bunch of calls. For you guys that know, I had a big team. We did a lot of transactions. I got really burnt out and tired of the real estate business altogether. So what I did was for a short amount of time, I just kind of hung out there. And during that time, I said, you know what? It wasn't the business I didn't like. It was the business that I'd created for myself that I didn't like. So what I did was I kind of backed up and I said, you know what do I like about this? I do like there's a lot of things I did like. I mean, I like going to people's houses. I like helping people have problems, right? Honestly, I think it's selfish in a lot of ways. If you have information that could help somebody, um, you should go help them, right? Yeah, we do it to get paid, and we have to get paid, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's selfish of us if we can go help somebody with a problem and we choose not to, or we're too lazy to pick up the phone and call them and offer help. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the mindset I have, and I think that I hope that you guys can build that mindset too, where you have that helping heart, where you truly believe you're the best option for them. And you know what, guys? When I'm not the best option, I let them know, right? Like I got somebody in my market right now, somebody I'm friends with on Facebook. They messaged me and asked me, "Hey, what do I have to do to buy a house?" I told them I helped them get pre-qualified and all this stuff, but I'll be honest with you, I'm busy. I don't work with very many buyers. I'm really busy, and I really couldn't help them. Right? I really couldn't go unlock doors with them and stuff like that. You know what? I got another great agent that I work with. I called him up and said, "Hey, look, this is a really good friend of mine. Can you go unlock the store for her? She wants to see like 3 or 4 houses. I can't do it. Can I refer her to you?" Right? And hey, and got a contract, and that's that. I was not the best person to help her, but I helped her get pre-qualified. I helped her get through the process, and I put her with somebody that could do that part of it. And I think that's what we have to do sometimes. A lot of us get hung up on, "Oh, we got offered blank, blank, blank listing," where we have no expertise, whatsoever. We think we have to take it just because we got offered it. We think we have to take every single piece of business we have. But guys, we can't do that. We have to set standards for ourselves, standards for our business. We have to decide what we want to be, right? We have to decide the people we want to work with. Do you guys agree with that? So Rob and others, take the time to use Jason's template and then update with your local information and make it your own. I actually downloaded the template about a week ago. It took me about 6 hours to adjust for my market, and it turned out awesome. Yeah, that's right, guys. It's a template. That's exactly what it is. It's something to kind of get you going. When you download it, there's a full video that actually walks you through it, right? Now, walks you through it and what to do. So, I mean, here's the thing. this is 7 things this is going to do for you. Now, it's going to do a lot more right now because you know what? A lot of us can't go to people's houses. What our goal should be on the phone, if we can't go to listing appointments, what our goal should be on the phone right now is to get our pre-listing package into the hands of as many sellers as possible, because it is the thing that tells about me, my team, and what we do to sell real estate, right? It's your tool. It's your brochure. A lot of agents don't realize that. A lot of agents believe that we're in the business of selling houses. I'm going to tell you guys to listen to this. I don't believe that. I believe that we sell a service that sells houses. Just so happens we get paid on that service as performance. But that's what we sell. We should be selling the same service over and over again, right? It should be a templated service, and your pre-listing package is the template for that service, right? If you don't want to do open houses, don't put it in your pre-listing package. If you have a great open house system that you want to do, put it in there, but keep in mind, if you're taking 1 listing a month, it's easy to do open houses for every single one. If you're taking 10 listings a month, to do an open house for every single one is going to be really tough. So we have to think about what we put in there, right? I'll tell you guys this too. We need a listing system. When you're building your pre-listing package, we need to think it through, make sure it's financially sustainable. Have you guys ever heard of that? Yes or no? Make sure, I don't feel like brokers talk about this. Making sure your listing system is financially sustainable. So here's what I'm talking about when I say this, financially sustainable. So I was talking to this agent. I'm going to use her as an example. I'm not going to say what her name is, but said that she done $400 for drone footage, $400 for drone. She did $150 professional photography. She spent like $250 on a staging consultation and light staging. Man, what else did she do? She done I think she done a Manaport video thing, and I think she was spending about $200 on that. Anyway, total she was spending about $1,100, right? So $1,100 for each listing. So guys, think about this. Okay, when the market's hot like it's been, and we take a listing for $300,000, we spend $1,100 of our own money. We throw that thing on MLS. Even if we take let's just say we take a 2% listing for just the purpose of this conversation. So we're going to make $6,000 gross commissions, right? And I know some of you guys are at different companies, and some of you guys have all kind of splits all over the board. But I feel like, do you guys feel like a 70-30 split is pretty much average across the board for most companies? You guys think that's fair, 70-30? So I feel like, I know that, we got some companies out here 80%, some companies are 50%, but 70-30 seems to be kind of an average here. But so you're going to make $4,200 at a 70-30 split. Okay, so you're going to net, your net's going to be $3,100, right? So if you took it at 6%, your net's going to be $5,100, right? Okay. So best case scenario, that $1,100, you're going to float that $1,100 about, I don't care what people say, man. It takes 60 to 90 days to sell a house, average. Do you guys think that's right? I always feel like if the house is priced right and I list it today, it's going to take us about 30-45 days to get a solid contract, and then about 30-45 days to close it. Might take 60 days to close it, right? But it's going to take us 60-90 days. If you're real lucky, you might can close one in 30 days, but you're going to have to be lucky, and the stars are going to have to be aligned lots of times, especially the way that lending's getting backed up and all this stuff. So you're going to have to float that $1,100. Let's just make it $1,000 to make it easy. Say you got a deal, right? You got drone guys cutting you a break because you're doing so many. So you're floating that $1,100. You're floating at 60 days. You know what? Market's slowing down. Let's do 90 days. Okay. And you're listing 5 properties a month, right? Month. So right there, you've got times 3 months, you're floating 15K in expenses. So you guys following this? You're floating $15,000 in expenses. You're listing 5 properties a month. Plus you got other expenses too, right? But we're just talking about listing. We're just talking about your listing expenses. Okay. All of a sudden, you know, instead of you selling 80% of your listings, right? Or 100% of your listings in some cases, market's going to slow down. Prices are going to drop. Prices are going to fall, just like oil prices are falling. We see house prices falling. So all of a sudden, instead of you selling 80, 90, maybe even 100% of your listings quickly in that 90 days, you're only going to sell maybe 50% of your listings in 90 days, right? Maybe 50%. So that cost, all of a sudden, you're spending $1,000. Technically, it's going to average out to $2,000 per sale. So, you guys see where I'm going here? So what's going to happen at some point here is your cash flow is going to start really feeling this, right? Because instead of selling 80, 90%, 100% of your listings, all of a sudden you're selling 50% in that 90 days. And, you know, so you're carrying a lot of money. It's costing you a lot of money to do business. Plus it's costing you everything else you have going on top of this, right? So we have to make sure it's financially sustainable. So I'll tell you guys too, what happens when a lot of agents start getting tight and they start doing things like this. So all of a sudden, instead of making $3,100 a sale, you're going to make $2,100 a sale, right? So I'll tell you guys a story about me personally. It was when I first started, when I first got in the real estate business, man, I went to this real estate thing, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really like real estate conventions. A lot of these regional things, especially, and one of the reasons is because I feel like it's one sales pitch after another, and sometimes you get sold on things, and there's always a new silver bullet and shiny object and some kind of bullshit for us to buy, right? And we get caught up in it because we got some cool technology out there. But you know what? A lot of us justify it. We say, "Oh, we got to have this because the seller wants it." The seller don't know what it is unless we tell them. Right? And I've never seen anybody. I'll tell you guys with this particular thing right here. I've never seen anybody say, "Hey, I really like 123 Main Street, but they didn't have pictures of the roof. Can't believe that agent didn't get drone photography. We were going to make an offer, but it didn't have those pictures of the roof," right? Never heard that. So guys, a lot of you guys are doing drone footage in the property getting special. Maybe it's, you know, you're doing drone footage on a regular D.R. Horton style house in a tract neighborhood. You're wasting your money. You know, that's just the truth. If you're doing it on something that's beautiful historic plantation, you know, that's on the waterway, yeah, go ahead and spend the $400. Probably makes sense to do it, you know. But right here from the listing system, we can get rid of drone footage, right? Probably get rid of drone footage. Okay. From this system too, we can probably go ahead and get rid of staging, because you know what? Here's the thing. You can spend $250 on a staging, whatever. And we can, and here's the thing, if they live like pigs, you know, today, 2 weeks from now, house is gonna look like they live like pigs again. That's the truth. So a lot of this stuff that we're spending money on. So my story, back up a little bit, the regional thing. So I got sold on the idea of a talking house. Now this was 2003, 2004. This was 2003, 2004. And one of the things, oh yeah, Mark, there'd be a replay for this. One of the things about it was This thing costed like 250 bucks. And for you guys that are just getting in the business that are a little younger than me, that don't remember these things, this thing was ridiculous, honestly. It was a thing that basically it was a house that sat on the stick, you know? And the whole deal was is if you managed to pull your car up close enough to it, you could turn on a certain AM radio station and you could actually listen to Jason Morris give a description of the house, right? And I know that I have an amazing voice that people like to listen to, but there wasn't really anybody like pulling up to the house to listen to me talk about things. Um, Listen to me give a description of the house, you know. And two, that's probably one of those things I'm really bad at too. But anyway, I sold myself on that I need these talking houses. And I sold my clients on the idea they needed these talking houses. So this is what the deal was. So I was a broke college kid, and the way I got my talking houses, when I went out there and I bought some talking houses on my credit card. Just like a lot of other agents, I bought them on my credit card. Um, and the thing is that then it kind of gave me this mental block because I was pitching all these people this whole damn talking house idea. And the thing was, I didn't have but 5. So getting that 6th listing was a big deal because if I had to go buy another talking house, I mean, dude, I might not be able to pay my light bill back then, right? It was gonna affect some of my other bills. So it created a problem for me. And I see a lot of agents doing that. And go in an up market, if you're steady getting listings and those listings are steady selling, buying that $250 talking house, spending $1,000 or guaranteeing $1,000 ad spend or $1,000 whatever on that $200,000 house or $300,000 house isn't a big deal. But if we're in a down market, not all of your listings are selling, it starts adding up and it starts averaging out to a lot of money per house sold. So we got to make sure what goes in our pre-listing package is something that's actually going to be benefit the seller. And one thing, guys, we don't realize is that our ability to put something in MLS and our ability to syndicate all over the internet is the most powerful tool we have, and we get that for free. That is the tool that we have, right? So there's 7 things it's going to do for you. Number 1, it's going to give you a lot of confidence. You have something in writing already prepared to give potential sellers. Think about this, guys. When you go to if you went to a doctor's office, you had to have major surgery. You go meet with the first doctor. They kind of fumble around. They don't really know what the process is going to be. They just say, hey, Gary, we're just going to get in there and look around and hope something happens, right? The second guy, we're trying to figure it out. Second guy comes in, he's got a plan there, and he says, hey, look, we're going to do surgery. Surgery's going to take 24 minutes on average, unless we have a problem. It's usually you're going to be sedated for another hour. You're going to be in the hospital a day. You're going to get out. You're going to have about a 2-week recovery, and this, and this is going to happen, right? Which doctor you go to? You go to Dr. A that they're just going to try to figure shit out when they get in there, or you go to Dr. B who's got a real plan for you, right? So as real estate agents, we talk about being professional, but we show up to people's house and we don't even know what our plan is to sell the house. And I hear agents talk about, they say, well, we'll help customize a marketing plan when we get there. Guys, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's because you're lazy and you're not want to show up prepared, right? That's why most agents don't have a written marketing plan. So number 2, it's going to appear that you're extremely professional. Chances are, if you're taking it to a for sale owner or an expired listing, they've already talked to a lot of agents, but 99% of them had nothing to give them or send them about their services. You're going to look like you got things together, right? You're a real estate agent with a plan. You're like doctor number 2. Number 3 is going to set expectations for your client. Remember, we talked about that a minute ago when we talked about a financially sustainable plan, right? It's going to create that for you. And it's going to create a financially sustainable plan for you, right? It's going to set expectations. If it's not in the plan, if it's not in the listing, the pre-listing package. I like to call it pre-appointment package, um, or marketing plan when I'm talking to the general public. But if it's not in there, you don't do it, right? I mean, I'll tell you guys another story. Flyer boxes. This is when I had a larger team and stuff. I went to some kind of thing, and this guy goes, "Oh, we do so much business from flyer boxes." Anyway, I left and said, "Wow, that guy does business from flyer boxes. I have no flyer boxes. I should get flyer boxes, right?" And so I think I had about 40 listings at the time. And first thing I did was I got home, I ordered me 40 flyer boxes and all this stuff, sold sellers on them. All my new listings, I told them how great we put a flyer box, and flyer boxes are great. Your house is going to sell because we have flyers in a box. That whole spiel. So I sold sellers on this whole flyer box. And guys, I never sold a house because of a flyer box. But what I did was I created myself a situation. I created myself a job where either me or my assistant at the time would spend about one day a week driving around filling up flyer boxes, because believe it or not, sellers would call you. They would actually blow you up and be like, Jason, my flyer box is empty. And you're like, okay, I haven't got one call off your house or a flyer, off the thing. My flyer box is empty, probably because all the kids in the neighborhood were making paper airplanes out of them. But I never attributed one real sale back to a flyer box, but it created a tremendous amount of work for me. It created about a day a week worth of work for me. Where basically, and guys, if you got one flyer box to fill, it's not a big deal. If you got 10, 15 flyer boxes to fill, dude, you're looking at a full day of stuff. Yeah, will, Dan. So it's kind of interesting. So Rob said, how about those 800 capture numbers? They still work like they did 10 or 15 years ago. You know what? The 800 call capture numbers, I don't know that they do. You know what? I don't really see them in my market. I don't really hear about anybody using them anywhere else. It used to be the 800 call capture numbers were the same thing. They'd call to get information about the property and listen to a recording, and basically you'd get all their information because they called in. Man, I don't feel like they work like they used to. I don't feel like we call 800 numbers like we used to too. So, Rob, your other question is, in your pre-listing package, you state, please have 2 keys available and a copy of your mortgage statement. So are you assuming you will close and get the listing? That's a bold statement to make in the letter. Yes. If I'm showing up to your house, I am showing up fully prepared. Because I'll tell you this, I think that we got to show up fully prepared. I think, for one thing, I think it mentally puts us in state that we're going to succeed, and gives us some confidence versus showing up with nothing. Guys, believe it or not, I mean, I bet some of you guys are on this call. There's a lot of agents out there that show up with nothing. They don't even have a business card, right? They just show up and kind of wing it and hope things happen. I mean, I won't lie to you. I did that when I was new. When I was a new agent, that was not even a big number, a big deal, wasn't even a big deal for me to show up with absolutely nothing and just hope. And you know what? We're in such a crazy time. I think that we have to do everything we can to build trust. We have to build trust because you know what? We're in the days of Craigslist killers and all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, guys, we had the newspaper not long ago here where some guys were creating Tinder profiles, the dating app, and basically they'd set up dates with these unsuspecting guys. The guys would show up thinking they're meeting up with some girl, where they would basically get beat up and robbed. Right? I mean, we're in such crazy times right now, the whole world, with some of this technology, that we're in a situation where, if you're calling for sale owners, you're calling expireds. They don't know who you are. So we need to do everything that we can to build a trusting relationship. And this is part of it. Showing up prepared is part of it. Showing up with your business cards is part of it. Sending a pre-listing package is part of it. Making sure that you have a plan is part of it, right? All of that stuff is. Do you think competing agents will step up their game and start doing more for listing presentations? Are we still in the minority of showing up prepared with pre-listing information? David, I think the agents, I think rather than step up their game, as far as that goes and try to improve, I think most of them would just quit the business. I think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of people just getting out of the business, and it's okay. I mean, especially in a down market. Now, what we'll be left with, the thing is, if you're a well-trained agent, what we'll be left with is you'll be working with other well-trained agents. So, I'll tell you a quick story. I got a transaction that's been going on right now where I'm the listing agent, and thankfully it closed today. But the other agent, this was like transaction number. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't the one that closed today. It's one that's closing later this week. But the agent on the other side of the transaction, man, this is like his second deal, and I mean, he has like zero like experience. I mean, like, man, there was stuff I had to help him with fill in the blank on the contract. Like, that's how it was. But you know what? I feel like that's kind of been common the last couple of years. Like, the agent you're working with you're probably part of one of their first transactions. And some of these brokers don't really, they're not really holding hands. They got so many agents coming in, some of these big offices, they can't help every agent individually. There's no way. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's time for another cleaning. Only strong survive. After 2008, many left, but the economy improved and the floodgates opened again. It did. It did. Now, here's number 4. The thing that's going to do with you is you get a chance to show off your whole team. Now, what I'm calling a team is not what we commonly refer to as a team. One particular franchise has skewed the whole industry, but what I'm talking about is a team in your pre-listing package, because a lot of you guys are individual agents, and I don't necessarily, my group coaching and stuff, I encourage you to get a buyer's agent and stuff like that. But sometimes I don't encourage big teams because, well, number one, a lot of agents are out there creating these big teams, but they're not very profitable. BIC, broker in charge. So I probably should have spelled that out in here. I thought that was an industry normal thing when I wrote this book. But my team I'm referring to, your broker in charge, your office staff, the administration, the size of the office, your attorneys, your vendors, everybody you work with. This is the team that helps you get from a listing agreement to closing. Even brand new agents, we all have a team, right? Number 5, your listing package is going to save you time, right? It's going to save you time. You can email it over to them. When you get to the appointment, they're already going to have some information about you, And here's the thing, one phrase I use when I'm sitting down in front of the seller is, look at the pre-appointment package and information I sent over to you. And we market 2 different ways. We market to the general public looking for home buyers. And number 2, we market to other agents looking for agents with qualified buyers. Our goal is to get you as many qualified buyers as possible to look at your home as quickly as possible, right? Isn't that what our goal is? Right. And that should be the phrase. They say, oh, what do you do for marketing? Well, we market 2 different ways. Number 1, we market to the general public looking for our own buyers. Number 2, we market to other agents looking for agents that have qualified buyers. Our goal is to get your home in front of as many qualified buyers as possible to look at it. Right. Isn't that what our goal is? We need to make sure that we're telling people that. And we need to explain it simply. Right. That's something that we got to learn too. We got to learn to simplify what we're saying. Less is more. Less is more. There's some of you guys that are on this call, and I guarantee some of you guys that are going to be listening to the recording that I guarantee you, if you shut up, you would list more houses. If you quit talking, right? Quit talking, you list more houses. So number six, that pre-listing package, it establishes value. When potential clients look at the package, it looks like a lot of stuff. Most people don't understand the basic list of services that we offer as an agent, or can be extensive. Guys, when I was first putting this together, I'll tell you what, I had a coach that told me to do it. That's why I did my first pre-listing package. It was, I want to say it was about 2009, 2010. Around that time is probably when I actually did the first one. Now, I don't know that I really used it. Around 2012, 2013 is when I started using it all the time, right? And, you start looking at the basic list of services, taking pictures, putting out a for sale sign, putting out a lockbox. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that it does. And I'll tell you what, when I first done it and I started really thinking about it, man, do a lot of stuff. Maybe I should get paid more. That's what I thought. Like when I seen the list, when we don't think about some of this stuff because we're in the middle of it, right? Just like in this book and in my coaching, what I encourage you to do is practice going down through your listing paperwork like on about a third grade level. Not because your clients are dumb, because your clients don't look at this stuff all the time, right? They don't look at this stuff. So they're not used to looking at legal contracts. What we're going through is a legal contract. Some of you guys, I see your listing paperwork's 11 pages and you'll read it word for word. And the problem doing that is it's just a little bit overwhelming. There's some scary sections in there, right? We need to make sure we're explaining it effectively, but we need to make sure we're explaining it in a way that makes everybody feel comfortable, right? Lots of times when you go over comparables, you go over price, you go over your net sheet, right? And everybody's happy with you. And you say, hey guys, well, I brought all the paperwork with me. How about if we look down through it real quick? I'll show you what it takes to get started. I'll show you the stuff to do that we have to do. They go, oh, great. Yeah, let's take a look at that. And everybody's been happy. Everybody's been happy up to that point. And then all of a sudden, at the end of it, the husband looks at the wife and they're like, well, how about let us sleep on this, right? Lots of times, the reason why they're saying that is because of the way you went down through the listing paperwork. They were comfortable. They liked everything you said. And then when you went to the paperwork, things kind of went a little sideways. You said things they didn't quite understand. Used some industry slang. You explained it the way your broker explained it to you. You talked about crazy stories that didn't really matter that happened one time in the history of your state's real estate history, right? You got to make sure that we're going through that stuff effectively. But number 7, your pre-listing package builds trust. It builds trust. It shows you and who you are and who your team is. And a lot of times, guys, we used to be brokers of information, right? We had MLS books. We sat on it. We didn't syndicate nothing to figure out what was on the market. Somebody had to come to us and we go pull out the books. Those books ended a couple of months before I started in my market. But we were the brokers of information. Now we're not. We're brokers of trust. People are hiring us because they need help and they trust that we're professionals that will help them. Guys, and you know what? I know people don't like, a lot of agents don't like this comparison, but you know what? That's why we go to attorneys. We go to attorneys because you know what? We're trusting they'll help us get through whatever problem we have. Or hopefully we trusting that they're going to protect us in whatever problem we have, right? We're going to doctors because we can trust that they're going to get us well. We didn't trust they were going to get us well. You know what? My granddad didn't like to go to doctors. You know what he did? He liked those little Starlight mints. He'd get a cold and he would actually use Afrin and eat those Starlight mints, right? Until he was miserable. Then finally he'd go to a doctor when he got too bad, right? We go to a doctor because we trust them. People are coming to us because they trust that we're going to do the right thing and we're going to help them. But we're kind of backwards because honestly, let's face it, an industry kind of screwed up sometimes, right? And you look at us, you look at where the general public compares us to things like prisoners, right? We're not a whole lot higher than criminals as far as public's view when you look at those crazy surveys and stuff they do every couple of years. But guys, so sometimes we have to go out of our way to build trust. We have to do it. And this is one of the tools that you need, right? Everybody else, once you send this out, man, once you send this out to people, once you start sending this thing out, then they're going to look at it and they're going to say, hey, Jason Morris is who Jason Morris says he is, and that's what we want to happen, right? Is that we want them to trust us. So guys, we're going to go down through a pre-listing package real quick. We're going to kind of go down through the template, and I encourage you guys to to go to jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. If you don't have the template, you can get it there. If you're in my group coaching, it is available in the group coaching. And anyway, you can just download it right from there. I got a whole section. I got video. My group coaching, I got actual videos. We went down through a lot of them. Tonight's call, we want to talk about them and hopefully get some of you guys up to speed on what's happening and what you kind of need to do. Give me just a second. Let me actually download my own pre-listing package template. So guys, I set this up originally to work with Google Docs. For some reason it's opening in my WPS office, but we're gonna let it open there. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys some of the graphics in this is old. If you search the internet, NAR has a lot of updated ones, and NAR did not necessarily want me to use their updated graphics. But anyway, you guys can go find them. You can find them on their website. You can download this template. You can the stuff at the bottom of the page is all a footer. If you go to fiverr.com, you can get these graphics recreated pretty easy, $5-10. You can have them. Some of you guys are a lot more technologically savvy than me, and you can do a little better than that. So what I like to send out, so this is the package right here. This is the package. We've got 10 pages. This is the template. Some old stuff in here, but anyway, you guys can update that and find graphics, I'm sure, a lot better than this. You guys listening to it. People in my group coaching, if you start looking down there through the group, I tell you what, there's where people shared graphics. And that comes in really, really handy. So I got this letter here on the front. Thank you for the opportunity to present my qualifications and marketing plan to sell your home. I think of my clients as individuals with specific needs, and my team and I strive to give you exceptional service. In response to the more challenging market we have experienced over the years, we have become more determined and assertive with marketing and technology. We focus on strategies to get your home sold as quickly as possible and to get you the highest price possible, right? So what I believe is we need to use an active pricing strategy. I put it in the letter. You guys can read the letter. I don't necessarily want to go down through it with you guys. I'd rather show you guys, use this next 5-10 minutes that we have left to kind of go through and tell you what to do. So yes, I do think it's a bold statement here to put in the end. I look forward to meeting you to help you with this process. Please have 2 keys available and a copy of your mortgage statement. You don't really need the mortgage statement. We can take that out if you want to. At the time when I wrote the letter, it's still in mind today. It allows us to figure out a little bit better with their net if they're concerned about that. But most people kind of know what they owe. If they don't have it, it's okay. If they don't want to show it to me, it's okay. But I'm prepared to answer all of your questions and handle your transactions. Guys, we need to present ourselves when we're setting up the listing appointment, we're sending this over. We need to present ourselves and go ahead and build the mindset that this is our client, right? We need to go ahead and talk to them as if they are our client, right? Guys, we just got to just assume they're already our client. That's what I do. Okay, so your local real estate specialist. Now here's the thing. So when I built this template and stuff, I did work for Elliott Realty and Better Homes and Gardens. So now I will tell you, how are you mailing a large envelope? You know what, man? I like those large brown envelopes. It costs about $2 to mail one, but it really sticks out in their mail. If you stick it in a regular envelope, it's going to be kind of a little funky. But so when I originally put this whole thing together, I worked for Elliott Realty and Better Homes and Gardens. This is when I put the template together. And man, we actually had Elliott Realty, Better Homes and Gardens, Elliott Realty had a tremendous staff. They had 7 small offices. Better Homes and Gardens had a lot of pluses. Better Homes and Gardens is one of the most recognizable brands in the country. 1 in every 5 households reads Better Homes and Gardens magazine. There were some crazy statistics with Better Homes and Gardens. Some crazy statistics that a lot of companies can't compare to. But guys, whatever office you have, there's something unique about it. If you need help figuring out what it is, send me a message and we'll try to help you. If you're a little mom and pop shop, hey, we're natives, and as we're natives, and this is what it is. You know, there's something about your company that's real unique, I guarantee. Got a statement here. It's almost better to drive and deliver if you don't have their email than it is to mail. You know what, man? If you get, I don't like driving to deliver, number one, because my market's spread out so much. It takes so much time to get from point A to point B sometimes in my market, especially in the summer with all the traffic. Um, but yes, if it's a short notice, like, hey, I got a listing appointment tomorrow and I set the appointment at 2 o'clock today, they don't have email. Yeah, you know what? If I can, I go drop it off. If I can't, you know, just got to do what you got to do. You know, you got to do the best you can. um, but if it's somebody that sometimes, you know, hey, they don't have email, they live out of state. We have a lot of second homeowners. Hey, just mail it. You know, if you don't have an appointment, just go ahead and mail it. Follow up with them in 2 or 3 days. But so credentials over 100 years of combined real estate experience. That sounds really impressive. But guys, if you're in an office with 20 people, you got 100 years experience, right? Thousands of homes, condos, and lots closed. You know, most of us are a member of our local association, the state and national association. Most of us are, right? Some of us don't have to be it. Not that it really matters. It's just another line on the resume, basically. Staff of experts. Elliott Realty had this crazy staff. And guys, I know a lot of offices don't have this, but maybe you have something else. You know, if you're in a larger office, you probably have administrative people that have certain titles, right? Short sale negotiators, there's still people out there that are full-time short sale negotiators that will negotiate short sales based for a referral fee, right? Sometimes we got to look for some of this stuff, right? But I thought this was an interesting with Better Homes and Gardens. They had the second highest price per transaction average nationally, and I think number one at the time was I think it was Sotheby's. It was either Sotheby's or Christie's. I can't remember, but I mean it was a company that there's not really a lot of them out there, you know. So yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot of them out there. So that was kind of a interesting thing. So anyway, go down through that. Look for the things with your company, guys. And I know a lot of people are on this call. A lot of people are probably with Keller Williams. Keller Williams has an amazing thing. They're the largest franchise in the country, 100 something thousand agents. Blah blah blah. You got tremendous technology. Put all that stuff down here, right? If you're with EXP, same thing. EXP has a lot of technology. Their virtual office. They're in however many markets we're in now. Whatever. If you're at Century 21, all the Realogy offices have tremendous advantages, have tremendous unique things about them. Century 21 is one of the most recognizable brands in the country. It's been around however long. Century 21 is a brand that builds a lot of trust. Berkshire Hathaway is the same way. Not saying you got to be in any of these offices, but if you are, use what tools you have, right? Use it. I mean, if you're at a mom and pop office, hey, it's okay too, right? So Paul, yeah, this is all recorded. But you know, use what you have. Use what you have. Use everything you have. I'm a big believer in that. So how do buyers find homes? This is an old graphic from 2010 that I used here. There is a much better one that you can find online. If you look, internet marketing program. This right here, guys. This is old. This whole thing is old, but and I think now in 2018, 2019, it's something like that. I mean, it's not a whole lot different than 84%. It's like 90%. It's not crazy. I really like this graphic here. You know, I really like that graphic. You know, I don't even know if some of those websites still exist. Social media, how it works in your favor. You know, how am I going to get your home sold? How am I going to get your home sold? Submit your home to the local MLS, price it competitively. Guys, look at this. Look at this. This thing I've used for years. It's got 17 steps here, right? I see all these agents talking about, 97 steps, 150 steps, 273 steps. Guys, nobody's reading that shit. Nobody's reading that. Nobody cares. Let's just be honest. Nobody's reading it. Nobody cares. Okay, more than likely they're looking at it. Most of them are bullshit anyway. Most of them are the same thing over and over again, just phrased different. Guys, make it simple, right? Make your pre-listing package simple. If it's 50 pages for them to look through, if it's a list with 150 items on it, guys, if you sent that to me, I would not read it. Think about it. If somebody sent it to you, you would not read it, right? You look at it and you go, oh my God, oh my God. Right here, we got our information. I like references. I like references. If you're newer and you don't have any references, find some people that will give you a good reference. Even if you hadn't sold them a house, even if it's your buddy, even if it's somebody that you know, but they'd say like good things about you, right? Um, if they're going to say good things about you, put them on there, right? I had a maintenance guy for years. He's been one of my references. God, for I don't know how long. And you know what? He's a great guy, does a lot of work for a lot of different people. He's well spoken on the phone. He comes across, I mean, he is pretty intelligent, but he comes across as being pretty intelligent on the phone, right? When people call and ask him about Jason Morris, I know he's going to say good things about me. He's did a lot of work for me. I have a good relationship with him still. He's supposed to come do some stuff on my house in a week or so, right? Look for those references. I mean, uh, honest, do you like the idea of using a photo of you and your team on this page? You know what, man? I'm 50-50 on photos sometimes. I'm 50-50 on photos. When I first started the business, I looked like I was about 12. And sometimes I think if you use a photo, sometimes it gives them, I mean, it does possibly build trust, but it gives them somewhat of a preconceived idea about you. Um, and I think it's one of those things that, I mean, I've never used a photo of mine. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know when the last time I had professional photos actually done. I think it was like probably 10 years ago. I don't even know where they are to be able to show them to you. Um, I just don't worry about it. I just show up and I do it. I have something that works. It doesn't have to be very elaborate. Frequently asked questions. Definitely go through and change this first one for your market, what's happening now in your market. But you know what? These frequently asked questions, I was talking to another guy and he goes, oh, I took him out. Guys, don't take them out because they work. Right? Can we save the commission by selling yourself? I agree. You can save the commission by selling yourself. Are you aware, though, that there's over 15,000 homes for sale in our market? And last month, only 765 actually sold. Right? We need to use some statistics in here. That's an 18-month supply. Now, this was old when this template was done. This is old wording. No other homes come on the market in the last month. Last month, 1,396 homes went on the market. Right? So this is a little bit old. So it's a fact that only 2% of all for sale owners sell themselves, and 98% are listed and sold by real estate agents. Can you afford to have a 2% chance of selling your house? Right? Why don't we list high and come down later? I understand you want to list high to leave room for negotiation. Have you considered the problem that creates for you? Most people won't even bother looking at properties that are priced too high. Would you rather have a bidding war on your home or not have an opportunity to negotiate in the home? Right, guys. This frequently asked questions page is a way for you to answer questions that overcome objections before actually meeting the people. I have a friend in the business. Guys, this is one of my favorite things when people tell me this. They say, well, I got a friend. Yeah, well, I've got a friend in the business. Well, great. Why haven't they listed your home? I mean, that's it. Why hadn't that friend listed their house? And you know what? You wouldn't believe how many times I've had people, I say, oh, well, that's great. Who's your friend? And they name an agent. My default response is, I don't know who they are. So are they full time? That's my default response. I mean, sometimes they tell you who it is, and it's like, oh wow, it's a big agent in my market, But and yeah, man, yeah, thanks. I just bought the book months ago, and being at home, I finally got around to reading and doing the stuff. Need to check out your coaching for my wife and I. We're a team. Yeah, man, send me a message on Facebook, and I've got a coupon code that I can give you for the first month. So, and that goes for any of you guys. If you're not part of my group coaching, you want to join, send me a message through Facebook. I'll get you some details. And typically the first month we have some kind of discount I'm offering. So, we have a friend in the business. Guys, you know what? Everybody knows somebody in the business, but sometimes I've had sometimes they tell me they're their friend, and truly that default response is true. Um, Sometimes that friend is no longer in the business. Sometimes that friend's really not a great friend, right? It's just somebody they know from church, somebody they know from wherever, got their real estate license, somebody said their kid was getting one, right? You wouldn't believe how many times I've sold houses for people when their cousin's a real estate agent, their friend's a real estate agent. One client that I actually closed a house for today, when I first met him, he goes, "Hey man, I got a list with my buddy over here. This is a true story." He said, "Hey, I got a list with my buddy over here. He's a longtime friend and stuff, and I've already called him, talked to him about the place. He just hadn't had a chance to get out of here." Well, man, I said, "Okay, no problem." Well, I tell you what, I ended up meeting the guy 2 or 3 days later. I called him back the next day, set an appointment with him, met him face to face. And I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I can't figure out. I know you got a friend that's looked at this. Why hasn't he got this thing on the market for you?" And he goes, "Well, you know what? I talked to him, and he's been hunting for the last 2 or 3 days." And this is my exact response to him. This has been like 6 or 7 years ago. I said, "No shit. He can't come help you with your house during the week because he's hunting." I don't hunt, man. I just sell houses. That's my hobby. That's the only thing I do. And I kind of laughed and stuff. And I said, "Man, so when a buyer wants to look at it, do you think he's going to be hunting then too?" And I kind of laughed, and we kind of went our separate ways. Later on that day, he calls me and he goes, "Hey, man, look, can you get this thing on MLS today for me?" I said, "Yeah, man. I tell you what, let me come back by with the paperwork and I'll get it on MLS for you." Right. Since then, I've probably sold 7, 8 houses for that guy. Right. I mean, yeah, sometimes they do have a friend, but sometimes I'll tell you what, sometimes your friend is the first person to neglect you and not give you the service that you need. Think about that, right? We all have a friend in every business, and think about it, man. Your friend knows you. So what ends up happening sometimes? Sometimes you get put on the back burner, right? And it sucks. I mean, you know what? His friend should have been a better friend. He probably would have made, let's see, 7 houses. 7 houses, just say, $4,000 a house. His friend lost $30,000, man. So the other agent said they can help us get more money. Why can't you? I can appreciate that. And what you probably don't understand is that an agent that will list your property overpriced assumes they can take your listing now and then start beating you up on the price week after week after week after week. Is that what you want? They're afraid to tell you the truth up front. You know what, man? It's sometimes you got to have those questions, So what do you do to sell houses? That's a valid concern. Let me ask you, you're aware there are two kinds of real estate agents. They're passive and active. I'm an active agent, meaning when you list your home with me, I'll spend my time actively marketing your home to qualified buyers as well as other agents in town. Isn't that what you'd like? Right? I mean, passive agents, what does a passive agent do? They kind of sit there and wait. Would you rather be a passive agent or an active agent? So guys, I know we went over a lot today and we filled up an hour here. What questions do you guys have about this template, the things we've talked about? Or do you have any questions? If you don't, that's cool too. Jason Morris pre-listing package.com is where you can get this from. You can go there, you can download it, and it's easy. It's easy to do. There's a little thing right there. You click send it to me. You click send it to me, it pops up. It's a digital download, emails it to you. There's a video there that goes very in depth on filling this thing out and all this stuff. And you know what? It's kind of It's kind of crazy what I've seen in the past. I had some other real estate coaches get upset about me giving this thing away because they were selling it. So guys, I really appreciate you guys being on the call. I know there was quite a few of you on tonight. Guys, what did you think about this? What did you think about this call? You guys would give me a little bit of feedback. I'd really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing some more calls. Tomorrow, I have a great call going on with two people that are in the podcast industry and the real estate business, talking about what their podcasts have done for their real estate business. Send me a message if you'd like to hear that, or you're looking for an invite. And then Thursday night, I have another buyer call that's open to all agents too, where we're gonna it's me and two other mortgage people, and we're going to be talking about free ways to generate buyer leads. So, hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate that, Jacqueline. Really appreciate that. These things have been really super fun to do. Hey, thanks, Debbie. I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate you doing that. Hey, thanks, Laura. You know what? That fact sheet is very powerful. Do not take it out. You might have to update it, might have to modify it a little bit for your market, but keep it in there because you need it. It's a tool, right? We can use this as a tool. Sometimes we can have information like this that can be a little bit meaner than what we want to be face to face, right? Be a little harder on the answers and be a little more honest than what we want to be. Not saying that we're not honest, but I know it is. Some of us like to sugarcoat things. Um, Debbie, I thought I had a good listing package. Is, is this better? It might be. I think we need to have something, and I think it needs to be very focused too. It needs to be very focused and very simple. And if you're sending it to people, it needs to be easy to print out, right? It needs to be easy for your client to print out. Yeah, this is super simple. And that's something we got to remember too, guys. We got to remember to keep things simple because a lot of us like to overcomplicate things. I've had agents telling me, they go, oh, well, we're doing a video pre-listing package to send to people now. It's like, dude, wow. And some of these people will work so hard on their video presentation and stuff that the video presentation is never going to go anybody. This whole coronavirus thing is going to be over before they send it to the first seller. Or they'll work on it really hard, but they never send it to anybody. I tell you what, guys, if you guys want to hang on, I'm going to stop the recording. We can talk some more about, let's see,